Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sylvester's Fashion Art and Tarot. And today I'm going to be doing a reading on André Leon Talley. I'd like to start off by saying that André Leon Talley was an American fashion journalist, stylist, creative director, and editor-at-large of Vogue magazine. He was the magazine's fashion news director from 1983 to 1987. He was the first African American male creative director from 1989 to 1995, and then the editor at large from 1998 to 2013. Andre passed away earlier this year on January 18th due to complications of a heart attack and COVID-19. He was 73 years young. If you would like to know more about André Leon Talley, please watch his movie documentary called The Gospel According to Andre. He really goes in depth with his life and shares personal events that really affected him. I really feel it's a must-see. So I'm going to get into it now. Spirit, I would like to know what was going on in and around André Leon Talley before his death. What was in his mind? What was he feeling? What was going on around him? Please allow me to have insight on what you would like for me to share. Thank you, Infinite Spirit. Thank you, God. Thank you. I can do it good. Uh-oh. Well, yeah. Yeah. Close enough. Spread them out nice and even. Yeah. Okay. Whew. All right. Two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. All right. All right. Okay, here we go. Okay. Oh, first card I get is the Ace of Cups. And with this card, it represents new love, new life, new love. And this represents him, the person. You know, and here, Spirit's hand is out, holding this cup with water pouring out. There's so much love and admiration and respect around him. You know, it's like Spirit, like this bird coming from Spirit gives like this wafer that puts into the, that's poured, well, placed into the cup. And all this water's pouring out of this cup into this big pond with lilies and lotuses. And I just get so much love and admiration with this card around his energies. So this is definitely representing him as the person. second card I get is the Queen of Cups. And with this card, I get I want to say compassion. There's so much water, which I get um, um, strong intuition, and hold on, let me check something real quick. I want to make sure I get the right message out. Okay. Okay. That's what I get. He's a very caring person, very intuitive, very loving, caring, nurturing, um, has very deep emotions and feelings about things. And this is representing the situation with him, that he was like in an emotional state. So he was very in his sensitive feelings, in his in how he during the later part of his life. So more his sensitivity was showing out, where maybe more in the beginning he didn't put that persona out like that. But now all his years of all the years of holding back is now has caught up with them as far as letting those emotions out, letting go of so much. He's feeling what he's feeling, and now he's just letting it go. So, and as you can see, this water is like he's just letting all the emotion, just let it flow, just letting it go. You know, instead of holding it back anymore, he's just letting it flow on, letting it go. So that's what I get representing him as the situation. So, what's beneath him is represented by the Six of Cups. And this is familiar energy. It's like he's going back in the past. It's in his this is what's beneath him, his feet. It's more like his past influences. I'm sorry, well, it took me a minute there. This is representing his past influences, which is stemming from childhood. And well, some part of his life where he goes back, and is this. I mean, I feel like this is him where he's caring for someone, and with this one, what's popping in my head right now is that his grandmother. And this is really showing here because if you ever seen the movie, The Gospel According to Andre, he really talks with great love and admiration for his great grandmother that raised him. So I can see that being part of his um, past influences with this card, which is like familiar energy here. Now, what's representing in his past is the Page of Cups. And with the Page of Cups, here I get a sense of, I want to say, because it's in his past, it's like he's been, what's the word? He's been manifesting a lot. You know, he thinks a lot what his life could be and what he wanted to do, and it's like he put a lot of wishes out, a lot of ideas of what he wanted to do with his life. And as you can see, this person standing here looking at this cup with the fish in it, is he's concentrating real hard. He's really thinking deeply about his desires and wants and feelings. And that's really carrying out here in this card representing his past, because he's manifested, and he has put so much thought and so much passion and so much emotion about what he wanted to accomplish in his life. And I get that representing here with the Page of Cups. Yeah. Now, what crowns him is the Four of Pentacles. And with this one, it's like it's holding tight to his finances, keeping his mind on his money on his mind, and really spending what he needs to spend. He's not spending it needlessly. He's really watching. He's really watching his money, and yes, and that's what's his alternate future is represented here by this card, by the Four of Pentacles. So that's what I get here. He really holding tight to his finances. Now, in his future, what's represented in his future was the Two of Swords. And here it's like he's having trouble with decision. He doesn't know which decision to make. And he knows he needs to make one, but he's just confused about which decision to make. Whatever that situation is that he was dealing with, which I have a feeling that it is financial. So, but I get here he was dealing with a lot of indecision. So that's representing his future. Okay. Now, what the next card I get is the Six of Pentacles, and this card is about generosity. And I get here that he's sharing, but at the same time he's balancing his money. He's not spending needlessly, just only with what he needs and who he wants and who he shares his wealth with. And yeah. So that's representing himself, what was in his mind. So, and is represented here by the generosity card. So I get that he's a generous person, and he only donated and gave who he wanted to give to, with whom he wanted to give to. So that's what I get with this card. Next card I get that's representing in his environment is the Knight of Pentacles. And just one moment, I want to make sure I could deliver the right information. Okay. Okay. With the Knight of Pentacles, I get slow, steady progress. So, so I get in his environment that people assisted him, helped him financially in whatever situation he was in. That uh, some money did come in to help him in what situation that he was in. Um, it's like also represented in his mind that he had gave, but here people were giving back to him and they were helping him because they see him as a knight. So I get that people generously helped him financially in his hour of need. But it was done quietly, kind of low key, you know. It's not put out in the forefront like that, so it wasn't like in the media. So, but just done behind closed doors. Yeah. That's what I get here that represents his environment. In his hopes and fears is represented by the devil. And I get here that he had a um, self conflicts. I think he was holding himself back. Feel that he was holding himself back. Like he was dealing with self restraint. Um, had a lot of self doubt on some things. I mean, this is like new for him because um, in his past he's more of a go getter. Where now in the later part of his life he's starting to feel a little doubtful on some things, and he put himself in a restraint. And if you look at this card, you can see the chains that are around these two figures here, represented by Adam and Eve. If you notice, the chains are loose around their neck. All they have to do is just take it off, and they're free from all that tension and despair and difficulty and all that self doubt. He could just let it go. So I get that there was a lot of self restraint in his hopes and fears. So he kind of held himself back on some things. Yeah, but this is more towards later part of his life that um, during his emotions he was dealing with a lot of inner conflict, which is represented here by this card. In his outcome, I get the Eight of Cups, and this is like saying goodbye. It's like saying goodbye to difficult situations or moving on to something better, you know. And yeah, it's just saying goodbye to moving on to what was. So it's like he's letting it all go. You know, he's not worried. He's not stressed about anything. He's like, I lived my life. I'm done. I'm moving on. You know, I had a great time. Now it's time to go. So he made his peace. He made his peace with God, and now it's like he's like, I'm ready. I'm ready. So he was pretty much ready to go. You know, he had a good life. He had a good run. He enjoyed himself. You know, he partied, had a great time. He did his thing. And he's just saying goodbye. Yeah, he wanted to say goodbye. And yeah, that's what I get here represented by the Eight of Cups. And this is his final outcome. Yeah. You know, I have to say, I really admire André Leon Talley with the life he had. And seeing him in the news and seeing him at the forefront of all the fashion shows, I always admired, his tenacity, his hard work, his dedication in doing what he loved to do. And, I respect that highly. I would have loved to have met him. Um, yeah, I almost did at one point, but it didn't happen. I was living in New York. I currently don't live there now, but I was on 7th Avenue, and I believe he was leaving the 550 building where I think it was either Bill Blass or Oscar De La Renta. He was coming out, he was wearing this white, was it a red? But I think it was a white, long, Argyle alligator coat, jacket-like coat. Um, well, a coat. Um, and I was walking right behind him. At first, I didn't know who he was. Like, who's this tall man? And then, but I was right behind the man. And then, as I looked up, I realized who he was. But I didn't have the courage enough to go up to him and say who I was. And I didn't make the initiative to approach him. And I just felt maybe I shouldn't. But he was right there in front of me, and I think back on it, I say, man, I should have took that opportunity, and I didn't. And then I just continued on as he made his way to his car, and then he was having trouble trying to get in the car, and he was gasping. He was trying to grab the handle, and it was so funny the way he was trying to get into the car. But anyway, I just walked past, and in my mind I was thinking, oh, I wasn't ready yet. But as I look back on it, I think, man, that was my opportunity and I didn't take it. But it's all right. It's all right. I have to let it go now. But yeah, it was a missed opportunity. But anyway, I'm very happy to have shared this reading. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And thank you for coming to Subversive Fashion Art and Tarot. And if you like metaphysical products and such as t-shirts and sweatshirts and car seat covers or shoes, I have an Etsy shop under the name Cynthia Anna James. Currently, I will be rebranding my Etsy shop, but I will make changes to my site later on what that will be. So, but right now the site is still up on Etsy under Cynthia Anna James, all one word. So feel free to take a look, and thank you for coming to Sylvester's Fashion, Art, and Tarot. Take care. Bye.